Let's get this over tonight, shall we, Blades? Oh my god. Oh, what a horrendous performance. It's probably, for me, at least the worst first half all season. Worse than Newcastle for me, 100%. Worse than Brighton last week. So bad. So bad. We offered absolutely nothing going forward for at least the first half. Obviously, we scored a goal, which that kind of came from nowhere. Yeah, let's start from the beginning, which is where people normally start. Let's talk about the team. Actually, no, before we get into the team, let's talk about all the people that deserve way more of a shout out than Sheffield United's players. First and foremost, I want to give a shout out to Indigo Resurrection Bar, absolute legends. They absolutely deserve way more praise than the Sheffield United players for sponsoring the channel. Thank you, Indigo Resurrection Bar. Parrot Peel, thank you very much for sponsoring the channel. You deserve way more praise than the Sheffield United players. NordVPN, thank you very much. Soccer Sofas, thank you very much. Toffs, thank you very much. SRFC Moments, thank you very much. Paddy Kenny, thank you very much for having me on your night. Johnny, thank you for being a legend on the night too. You were very good. What else can I say? Thank you to just stop having to talk about this game. Thank you to my missus for taking me to the game today. Really appreciate it. Thank you to my sister for bringing me back from the game. Thank you to all the bar staff that have served me beers today. Thank you very much. Anyone else? I think I can probably say thank you to every single person that I've come across in this week. Even the people that have wronged me. I don't know who have wronged me, but Sheffield United's players today, not one of them deserves any sort of credit. Maybe McBurney a little bit, and not just because he scored, maybe a little bit. Right, okay. Maybe I should start talking about the game. Good chair though, isn't it? Very good chair. I love it. Soccer Sofas. I don't really shout them out enough. So yeah, Soccer Sofas. Make sure you go onto their website and have a look at their incredible chairs, especially the Blades ones. Anyway, right, okay, let's start talking about the game. So, the lineup. First and foremost, one of my mates, I'll read it. I'll read exactly what he said. He's called Nathan. I won't give his surname out. He wrote, "The fact Heke is named an unchanged team is a disgrace. We're getting nothing out of this game, and he should be immediately sacked after the game." And I replied and said, "All right, calm down, Piers Morgan," because he seemed like he was going a little bit over the top. Yeah, I did not expect to lose this game 3-0 and this badly and be embarrassed by Bournemouth this badly. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying we shouldn't be embarrassed by, no, we shouldn't be embarrassed by Bournemouth. But it's not because it is because it's Bournemouth a little bit. But if Man City come to Bramall Lane, if Liverpool come to Bramall Lane, players off the park, this was not a 3-1 game. This was a 3-0 game, a 4-0 game, or a 5-0 game. We didn't deserve a goal in this game at all. Great header from McBurney. Fantastic. Good ball from Baldock as well. It was a good goal. However, this was not the scoreline that it should have finished. It should have finished 4, 5, 6, 7-0 because they missed that many chances and they were that good. I actually think, before we get into talking about the game, I actually think that two incidents, I said this, I don't know if I said this on a video or if I said this offline, two incidents have saved Heke's job in the last couple of weeks. Baldock going down and winning a penalty against Wolves, and then Brighton getting a man sent off and handing his way back into the game. Those two incidents have kept Heke in a job. Today, I can't sit here and defend Heke. Can't. And I'm not just saying it's Heke's fault. The players were terrible today. But there were no patterns of play today that I saw that made me think, yes, that's how Heke has set us up to play. And actually, since Iliman Ndiaye's left, I don't know how we play football. I don't at least under Chris Wilder, you knew overlapping centre backs, uh, wide overloads, 3 players on 1 or 2 players, and get to the byline and get a good ball into the box. I don't know how we score goals in this league. Like, don't get me wrong, if we were in the championship, we'd probably have way more of the ball, we'd score more goals, we'd understand how because we'd have more of the ball, I'd understand how we are setting up to win games of football and play in a certain way. I don't get it. I don't know what it's almost like we get it up to McAtee and Harmer. Hopefully, they then find a way to get it to Archer, and then hopefully Archer does something spectacular. That's all I can see right now. It's embarrassing to watch. Like, we're at home in a 6-pointer or a must-win game, as a lot of people are saying. And don't get me wrong, like, I don't think this was a must-win game today. I would have liked to have not lost in it, because that means that Bournemouth have gone how many points in front of us? Is it 7? 7? 7. Yeah. Luton obviously won as well today. So it's gone bad. It's gone really, really bad. But if Bournemouth would have won 2-1 with a last minute goal or a sucker punch or against the run of play, I wouldn't have understood. It wouldn't have made me happier. It'd have probably made me more angry. But at least it would have been more of a game. It wasn't a game today. They just absolutely ran through us. And like I said, if this was a team at the top of the table, mullering everyone, fair enough. This is Bournemouth. Like, don't get me wrong, Bournemouth have been good in the last few weeks. But at home, we shouldn't be letting Bournemouth absolutely annihilate us, which they did. I think they took the foot off the gas after the third, but they still looked more likely to score than we were. They had so many corners in this game. I just remember corner after corner after corner. Where are they? 7-4. Okay, not as many as what I probably would have thought, but they were having shots that were resulting into corners. And I don't know where we were getting these corners from. That we had 4. Okay, we had 2 shots on target. That was one from Willisula right towards the end, and McBurney's header that resulted in the goal. I think those were the two. There's the only 2 that I can think of, and they were both on target. So that's all I can think of. We had 10 goal attempts, apparently. All I can remember is one from Luke Thomas, which was a wild slash at the ball in the first half that went miles wide. Maybe we had a couple more in the second half. Possession, they had 55 to our 45. Actually, I think that second half's helped us out a lot more than what should have been. Yeah, 57% in the first half they had against our 43. That's embarrassing at home to Bournemouth. Expected goals, 0.04. That was ours, 0.04. That must have been that shot from Luke Thomas that went wildly wide. That must have been 0.04 of a chance. Embarrassing. Shocking. And like I said, I can't keep defending Heke when we play like that. I don't know how we're going to win another. I don't know how we're going to win another game. We obviously played all right against Wolves. We came out of our shell after Brighton got a man sent off. But those 2 games have kept Heke in a job. And maybe it's time that something else needs to happen, because that today was horrendous. Horrendous. Looking at the table, Bournemouth are the 5th worst team in the league. 5th worst team in the league, and they've absolutely annihilated us at home today. They've come to Bramall Lane and thought, we don't care about you. We're better than you. We're going to absolutely walk through you. And they did, especially with the first goal as well. So I'll go back to what my mate was saying earlier on about the unchanged side. So I'll be honest, and I'm not going to show you right now. You're just going to have to believe me. I didn't put it out on Twitter, which I probably should have done. I guessed Heke's team today on FansHub. FansHub, another company that deserves more praise than the Blades players. FanHub, thank you very much for sponsoring the channel as well. Yeah, we obviously talk about FanHub a lot. It's a great app that we um guess the lineup, predict the lineup every week. You get points, and then you get to use the points to get a free beer or whatever like that. I'm not going to keep talking about sponsors. The only reason why I bring it up is because each week, FanHub, you predict your score. A lot of people would probably already be doing this, Blades fans. And I guessed it exactly right. And that's not because I am a genius and I know how to win games of football in the Premier League. That's because I know what Hecky does. And if Hecky's got some players coming back, whether it's two of our best players, which Anel and McBurney you could probably say are two of our best players, they're not going to get a game. Like if they're fit enough to be on the bench, they should be playing. And I was thinking maybe they're not fit enough to be on the bench. Maybe you just put them on there, maybe to strike fear in the other side, or maybe we'll give them 5 or 10 minutes at the end of the game. But he brought them on at half time, so probably good enough or fit enough to start the game. And really, they needed to start the game. Why is George Baldock playing at right centre back, completely out of position when Anel is on the bench? Why is Ollie McBurney, who's the only player that seems to he's the only player that I feel like we have a game plan for. He gets the ball, like the ball comes up to him. He tries to bring players into the game, and I feel like Archer only plays well when he's playing with McBurney. And Archer is the key to survival for me. He's the one that needs to score the goals because McBurney's not an out and out goal scorer. He's not going to score you 20 goals a season. He's not going to score you 15 goals a season. Like last season, yes, he had a few injuries, but he scored 10 or 11 goals, and that was a really, really good season for him. So I love McBurney to bits, don't get me wrong, but he's not going to be that man that's going to score you hatfuls of goals. It's going to be Archer, especially how we play him. I know he's done well for Swansea and he scored loads of goals for Swansea previously, but he was playing in a different position to what we play him in or a different style of play. So we can't expect McBurney to be banging all these goals in. We need Archer and we need McBurney to feed Archer. That's what we need. So yeah, the fact that he went with that side, thank you, Heke, because you got me 11 correct players on FanHub, but at the same time, it wasn't the right team to play. And yeah, you can look at that afterwards in hindsight and say it wasn't the right team to play, but yeah, it wasn't. It really wasn't. Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about the game because I didn't write many notes down. It wasn't, oh, this happened at this time, this happened at this time. All I wrote was Bournemouth absolutely embarrassing us, which they were, running through us at will, especially with that first goal, really early on in the game as well. How early on was it? It was 12 minutes into the game, but they'd had many chances before that as well. Many chances. It was great play from them. Semenyo absolutely annihilated us from in the first half, in the second half, and I was actually glad when he came off. But yeah, he played a great ball with Tavernier. Put Tavernier through. It was great from their point of view. Shocking from our point of view. Somebody told me that it was Sousa's fault. It wasn't. It was Harmer. Harmer lost his man. Harmer lost. I'm pretty sure it was Tavernier. Tavernier scored. Yeah, it was. It was. He let Tavernier go, and that's just criminal. You can't do it in the Premier League. We're playing Bournemouth, yes, but they are still a Premier League team who are very, very good and dominated us in this game completely. Was really annoyed at Norwood on the 22nd minute when he got booked for something really, really silly. Because if we're still in this game at this point, we're 1-0 down. If Norwood goes on and gets another booking later on and gets sent off, that could have put us in a really bad place. Saying that, we did concede another goal in the first half and then early in the second half, which was the writing on the wall. But the fact that Norwood, he picked the ball up, he walked onto the pitch further and further and further and then threw it in front of him. Sometimes players walk away from where the ball should be, whether that be a throw-in or a free kick, and then throw it back. So they've wasted a bit of time and they've got back into position. Norwood walked away and threw it in front of him, which was so petulant from him. And I like Norwood. I'm a big Norwood fan. That was a really, really poor mistake that he did. Petulance galore, 22nd minute. that could have been a problem. It wasn't in the end. It didn't really matter in the end. But I went down for a beer at 45 plus 2, I think it was. And then I looked up and I saw, whilst I was on the South Stand concourse, that Wesley Fotheringham, instead of booting the ball into the stand with 20 seconds to go, decides to try and take a touch, misses the ball, and Patrick Kluivert's son, Justin, that's his name, Justin Kluivert, takes the ball off him and just rolls it. I say roll. It's a good finish, to be fair, from an acute angle with a man trying to get back onto the line. So it was a good finish, but it's shocking from Wes. Absolutely shocking. And I think Wes had an okay game, an okay season this season. That was a really, really poor mistake. And Wes has made these poor mistakes in the past. A lot of goalkeepers make them. Don't get me wrong. There's not many goalkeepers that don't make an odd blunder every now and then. But that was a bad one at a really poor time as well. There was no one for him to pass the ball to. So I don't know why he's trying to take a touch. Hammer that ball. Doesn't matter where it goes, in the stand, up towards Archer, even if he miskicks it, it's probably, if you get a good enough contact on it, they're probably not going to score from wherever it ends up. But the annoying thing was for me is that Justin Kluivert, he's tiny. He's about this big and he's about this wide. He just muscles Wes out of the way. If that is, and like Wes did it against Burnley, where he brought their play down and got sent off, fair enough. But you can't let that player knock you off the ball and roll it into the back of the net. You need to make sure you get your arm across. He's a stronger lad than Justin Kluivert. So he shouldn't have let him bully him like he did for that goal. It was a poor touch under his foot, and then he just lets him bully him. And it's not on, especially at that time of the game. 20 seconds until half time. We go in, we regroup. It's 1-0 to Bournemouth, and we go again. And then obviously we're 2-0 down. McBurney and El come on, but it's kind of gone. We didn't particularly start any better in the second half. And then Tavernier went and scored another goal. And this is an L's fault. He's not tracked him. You can kind of get it, though, with Anel not playing for quite a while. This is 6 minutes. Yeah, 6 minutes into his return from injury. So I can understand why he would have his mind elsewhere, but it's not good enough, especially in the Premier League. You can't take your eye off a man. And the ball's played into the box. And Anel's just ball watching. I don't know why he's not going towards the ball, though. That's an odd thing. He's kind of just letting it come across him, whether he thinks that Wes is going to come out or whether he thinks it's just going to go out for a goal kick. He just leaves it and lets Tavernier come in and put the ball in the back of the net. Wes possibly could have done slightly better, but it's from point-blank range, so I'm not blaming Wes at all for that one, really. And then it just got worse and worse. Well, it didn't get worse. You couldn't really get worse than conceding 3 goals. At the end of the day, we lost 3-1, so actually it got better after that. But no, they were happy. At 3-0, they were more than happy that they'd won this game. And they were still better than us. They still had more of the ball. They still had more shots, still had more corners, still had more possession. They were just better than us from start to finish. And then I'll finally say there was 2 chances towards the end. I've just kind of got into one. Will Asula bursts through, has a great shot, keeper saves. There was actually another one that the defender blocked. The ball came across. Will Asula hits a really, really strong shot towards the goal. It gets blocked by the defender. Who knows where that would have ended up? It was a really, really good strike from him. But yeah, obviously, defender got a foot in, and it was a really, really good block. And then McBurney scores, and I was just walking out at this point. I was getting a lift home from my sister. I normally never leave the game early, but because they were leaving, I had to leave, or I had to have got a tram or a bus or something. Ugh, tram or bus. So I left at probably 90 plus 4. They went. I said, I'm just going to nip to Lou. And as I came out, McBurney had just headed the ball in the back of the net. It was one of them where I was wanting to kind of catch up with them, but I just can't help it. I'm glutton for punishment. I just want to watch it and watch it and watch it until the game's done. And obviously, this time, yeah, I stayed down in the concourse, saw Baldock cross the ball, and McBurney head the ball into the corner. Actually, it's behind. Sorry, it's behind. So I heard fans like kind of celebrate. Celebrate. It was very lukewarm, wasn't it? Celebrate when he headed the ball into the corner. So obviously, I knew it was going in before it went in. But yeah, really good header from McBurney. Good ball from Baldock. There were a few other corners that McBurney got his head on that went over the bar. But it's nice to see him get another goal, a goal from um, a goal that wasn't a penalty, a goal from free play. So yeah, good to see that. Also, good to see David Brooks come on, get a good cheer from the crowd as well. That's it. David Brooks is probably the highlight of the game, to be honest. Give him a bit of a cheer because we obviously all like David Brooks, and obviously he's been through a lot in his life or in his recent life anyway. So yeah, that's about it for me. I've wrote a few more things. Let's see what else I put. That's what I wanted to say. James McAtee. Right. Let's have a little chat about him. Because James McAtee, for me, I really like James McAtee, but I like him as somebody who has an impact, like an impact player, not necessarily a player that is going to dominate the game for you, take the game by the scruff of the neck, and be that man that's going to drag you through games like Illiman would have done last season. Um, I like him being not a bit part player, but that player that pops up, scores you a goal, pops up, does something really, really good and creates a goal or whatever. And that's what he was last season for us. This season, we're expecting him to work some sort of magic. And that's not really his game. He's not rapid. He's skillful, but he can't really take players on because he's sort of like a further up the field David Silva. They all call him the Salford Silva. But he's that further up the pitch Silva, not necessarily blistering quick. It's quickish, good on the ball, can play nice 1-2s, plays good through balls and stuff. But he's not going to be that player that takes a game by the scruff of the neck. Gus Harmer could be, but he doesn't have that ability to beat a man, really. He's not quick enough. We don't have any quick players. That's the problem. Even Archer's got a bit of pace to him, but we just looking at that Bournemouth team today, they're all bigger than us, they're all stronger than us, they're all quicker than us. And that's the problem for me. It's really, really evident when these teams come to Bramall Lane and they absolutely roll us over because their players are quicker, stronger, and just better overall. and that's really all I've got. I feel like McAtee in the Championship was a bit part player and was an impact player. We've moved up a division. Yes, he's got better, but we've moved up a division, and now we're expecting him to be the main man in the Premier League when actually he wasn't even the main man in the Championship last season. So, yeah, that's really all I've got for you. And actually, I'm glad because we're 23 minutes in, and I don't really want to be talking much more about this game anyway. So let's fly through some comments. Embarrassing performance. I'm beginning to think now it's time to go. I'm with you, Gaza. I'm with you, mate. I think it is time to go. I think it'll probably be Wilder that comes in. He's still not got a job. I don't think we can think of anybody else who would even want this job, want a relegation on the CV. Actually, Chris Wilder probably deserves a relegation on his CV, to be fair. And heck, he probably doesn't because of how he picked us up from Chris Wilder walking out. So yeah, let's move on. I probably shouldn't be talking about that. Terrible, no fight. What's going on with the team? This is what I wanted to say. I will come back to you in a second, Wayne, but I feel like this team, this management setup, this coaching setup, I feel like this is the least, what's the word? The least passionate that we've ever had. Well, not ever, but for a long, long time. And it's the least fight that we have for a very, 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 very long time. I can't think. Maybe the Adkins days. Maybe that's how far we've got to go back to find a Sheffield United team that won't battle for the shirt. We were nowhere near their place today. And if you're nowhere near a player, you've got to do something. You've got to bring them down. You've got to grab hold of the shirt. Just break it up a little bit. We just didn't do any of that. By the way, this shirt, my David McGoldrick shirt, if you've seen it on Twitter. It didn't do me any harm, any good. Sorry. Also, my jumper. I don't know where it's gone. My jumper. It is not lucky anymore, so I won't be wearing it. So that's a waste of money. So Wayne, terrible. No fight. What's going on? Team two shots on target. Two shots on target. One goal. Not good enough. We should be beating these. Yet they dominated. Absolutely, mate. Absolute shambles. Fight has gone. Passion doesn't seem to exist. Either sack the manager, or he needs to find a way to make it work. Lose to Burnley, and we're down. I don't agree with that, Joe. I agree with most of it. I don't think we're down if we lose to Burnley, but I do think Hecky will get the sack. I actually think we might lose to Burnley now. Burnley are a wounded animal. Burnley are terrible. If we play like we did today, we will lose against Burnley. No doubt about it. I think Hecky will get the sack if we lose against Burnley, but that might be something that gives us a kick up the backside because none of the teams down there are any good. Luton aren't great. Luton are just the best of a bad four. I say bad four. Everton have been good this season. Everton are probably going to get themselves out of it. So it's probably going to be like I feel like it's a bottom four now. It's a mini league of four teams, and one will go down. And three will go down. And I don't think we are good enough to be that one that finishes top in that four-team mini league. I'll be honest. Hurting and angry as fans, we don't deserve this. But what can we do? Too right, Jono. Absolutely woeful. No passion, no grit, no clue. That should be the tagline of the dressing room. Oh, that's funny. That's made me laugh, Jason. Thank you for that, mate. Alex Cheesewright. That's a fantastic surname. I don't think it's your real surname, but yeah, I like it. Good luck with your analysis. Take a deep breath and try not to giggle at this. But do you know what? I've just laughed at that, but I am not a giggler. I cannot giggle at how bad we are. I just can't. It upsets me too much. I can't laugh at things like that. And one thing that I will say that I was actually really embarrassed by from a Sheffield United fan base was when Wes went to kick the ball, they were like, "Oh," from United fans. If that was United fans, which I'm pretty sure it was, don't do that. That's not fair. Like Wes has made one mistake in probably 12 months. He's probably made two mistakes, like big mistakes like that, since he's been here. Maybe three. Let's not be like that. Let's not do that to Wes. That's not fair. Wes has been a great servant to the club in the last 2.5 seasons. So let's not mug him off like that. It's not fair on him. What a total mess. No delivery from the midfield to the front line. Passes were controlled and most ended up in no man's land. I love Wes, but he was shocking today. Not the turning point. Do you know what? Yeah, that was a shocking error, but he made some good saves as well. He did make some good saves, but for me, they are saves that you should be making anyway. So what's been happening in training ground for the last 2 weeks? Absolutely terrible. It's not acceptable. Agreed. The budget at the beginning of the season was, yeah, agreed. I expected a draw, not to play this bad and lose 3-1. Agreed. Smudge Smith. The only reason why we were promoted last season was because of one man show, Illiman and Die, not Eckingbottom. Okay, fair enough. Paul Eckingbottom, please let it out. Take control of this trashy team. Are you American? Eckingbottom has to go. As bad as I've seen us play today, they looked lost on the pitch, packed the midfield, and were so easy to play through. Slow, ponderous, and full of mistakes. I love that, Dave. I don't love it, but I love what you're saying. Hi, Nick. I have sat on the fence with Heke, but mind made up now. Got to go. No fight, no passion, pride, and nothing. One up front at home from the start doesn't make sense. Game needed to win. Too right, Brian. Too right. And actually, yes, it is one up front. And you'd like to think that when we're attacking, it's sort of two, if not three up front, but it's not, is it? It's just not. So yeah, and the players that we are trying to use as attacking midfielders, we've got James McAtee, who's not a forward in the slightest. And then you've got Gus Harmer, who's certainly not a forward. Coventry City fans will tell you that. Like, don't get me wrong, they're doing terrible in the championship, and they can't say anything. But he should be playing further back. He shouldn't be playing as a right-sided attacker. I'm not saying he is playing like that, but we need support for Archer. Why is Harmer the support? That's not it. That's never been his thing. That's not his shtick. It's just really not. Absolutely awful today. Can't see how Hecky stays now. Agreed. No game plan whatsoever. Comes in, can't do anywhere. Yeah, agreed. Off subject, mate, but thanks for the photo the other night at Paddock. Yes, Matt. Thank you very much, mate. No problem at all. It was great to meet you, mate. Very disappointed with this poor performance. Wrong tactics. Players don't want to play. Time for a change. I agree, Keith. Let's face it, the players aren't good enough, so it's pointless changing the manager. Having said that, there should be a massively more fight on display. Agreed, Jez. Agreed. But I do think that the manager should go. I really do. S2 Forest U has a poll rolling right now. 96% want him out. That just says it all, doesn't it? It just does. Only bright spot today was Asula. Agreed. I think we should have played Asula into form. I'm not saying he's out of form. He's just never really had that many chances. So I'd like to see Asula and Archer up front together. Why not give it a bash? Give something a go. I suppose you got McBurney's coming back in now and say maybe Archer gets a rest, or maybe Archer plays a bit deeper and plays as sort of an attacking midfielder. He played as a bit of a. He plays. No, maybe he didn't. Maybe I'm getting that wrong. But maybe someone drops a little bit deeper. Maybe McBurney drops a little bit deeper. Who knows? Um, can anyone tell me what Vinny brings? I'd like people to tell me that as well. My mate is a big fan of Vinny Souza. I was a big fan of Vinny Souza, but I've not seen enough from him recently. And El's been shocking all season, so I'm not surprised by his performance today. I don't want to give him too much stick because he's just come back from injury. No disrespect to Bournemouth, but playing at home with a back five, one up front, heck you go now. Nick, I'll say it as it is. That was awful. Our fight, outfight, outplay, outrun. Yeah, Bournemouth did all that. We were shocking. Bunch of strangers on the pitch. Yeah, agreed. Terrible performance. And Norwood as captain, more life in. I thought. No, again, I'm a Norwood fan, so maybe I'm being a little bit biased, but this is my channel at the end of the day. So I'll give my opinion on Norwood. I thought Norwood were one of the better players, I'll be honest. And people can disagree with me, and people will disagree with me because lots of people have got something, a vendetta against Norwood. But I thought he was better than a lot of the players today. I'm not saying he was the best player on the pitch for us by a long chalk, but I think he was better than a lot of the players on the pitch today. I always think he tries to get us going forward and not backwards, and that's Norwood for me. Very poor performance today. To say he got back a lot from injury. Oh dear. Apart from I didn't really read that, and I think I read like every third word. Sorry about that, Andrew. Well worth having a punt on Burnley, getting their first win next week, guaranteed fiver. Yeah, you're probably not wrong, mate. What has Eki done for the last 2 weeks? We didn't have players away on international duty, so he had everyone available, minus McAtee, definitely. We miss players that are passionate and want to fight for their shirts. What do we do now, Nick? I think we gotta bring someone else in. We just need. And do you know what? I've been saying that Wilder's not the man, and I still think that Wilder shouldn't be the man. But I feel like we would probably get more out of the players if Wilder was the manager. Get into him, just get into him. Actually get a style of play. We could even go back to what Wilder did. We've got the players to do that, but I don't know. I don't know if that's the right thing to do. I really don't know. Stephen says the board need to do one. They have set up any manager to fail. I don't know. I'm I'm past it. I'm past it with today. I'm gonna look at Twitter probably when I come off here, which I probably shouldn't do, but I probably will anyway, and it'll annoy me even more. Not because of tweets, just I want to forget about this game, but I know what I'm like. Only good part today was meeting Joe Root at half time. I saw Joe Root on the south stand as well, Joe, and yeah, and his big grey hat. I didn't realize he was as tall as what he was. But yeah, it's nice to see Joe Root every now and then. He always comes on the south stand, so more often than not, I see him. And he's always down there at half time. You'd think that he would try and kind of blend into the background in a stand, wouldn't you? But fair play to him. Long ball to a 5'8" Archer just won't work, and he's all on his own. I think Archer's probably thinking, I should have just stayed at Villa and stayed with kids, get 10 minutes every now and then. Because this is bad. This is really bad. See what I'm saying? People just think Norwood awful today. Was he though? Was he though? Was he though? Was he worse than a lot of other players? People always look at Norwood and have a go at him, but he's the only one that's trying to make things happen, especially from deep anyway. I never want to see Luke Thomas in a Blaze shirt again. I think all the thing is, people keep saying, I agree with you, Wolfgang Bailey, but there's that many people that that many left backs that we've got that are rubbish. They're all bad. Max Lowe doesn't go and engage an attacker. Luke Thomas does. But Luke Thomas, he's not got a lot about him. Larouci makes mistakes. There's not one left wing back that we have. Even if Reece Davis made a miraculous comeback and gets into the team, he's had so much time out. There's no way he's going to be better than these three. But they're all as bad as each other. So it's hard to really pinpoint who should play in that position. It's so bad. When we play 4-4-2, didn't seem to play. Didn't we seem to play better? I agree. I really do. I think that we were better with 4-4. Oh my god, can't be bothered. I really can't. I'll be refreshing Twitter until I see the corner flag photo. I don't think that's coming today. I think that'll come after Burnley. And actually, I don't want it to. I don't want to see it tonight. I want to see a team go to Burnley to go and win it. I don't want us to be in disarray having sacked the managers because there's no way that we're getting in a new manager unless it's Chris Wilder and he's literally sat next to his phone like this. Is he going to ring tonight? Is he going to ring tonight? Then we're not going to have a manager by the time of the Burnley game. So I don't think we should sack him. If we lose against Burnley, gone. Has to be. That didn't mean shoot him. I meant just sack him. If Heke goes, it should only be if there's someone who might do better. Wilder is a worse coach than Heke. Wilder's tactics took years to learn and perfect. Trying that now would be a bit of a Hail Mary. I agree, but there's still a lot of players that played under Wilder. I don't mind losing, but no effort. We need to get a strong, tall forward. Yeah, we just don't have it, do we? Larouci is as bad as Thomas defensively, but he can pass and cross. I just think they're all as bad as each other, to be perfectly honest. Portland, Oregon Blade, nice to have you, mate. Awful, 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 awful. It was clearly awful, 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 awful. It might be early in the season, but maybe getting relegated will give us the opportunity to reset the squad. Maybe. Asula and Ollie Mack for the next match. You know what? I would be up for that. I really, really would. Anyway, I'm gonna. Oh, Arthur. On that note, thank you very much. Let's leave it there. Oh no, this is the no. Next 5 games: Burnley, Liverpool, Chelsea, Aston Villa. I see 1 point in that. Somebody said that to me. Someone asked me how many points do you think we'll get in the next 5, and I said 5. But I was banking on a Bournemouth win and a Burnley draw, and thinking we might get another point somewhere else. Can't see that now. Really, really can't. Anyway, let's leave it there. I'm done. I can't be bothered anymore. Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you for staying with me as well, because I've been quite moany, but I think we all are a bit moany right now. It's a terrible, it's not a great time to be a Blade right now, but we are in the Premier League. That is saying something. At least we're not in the Championship getting beaten every week by teams that we beat every week last season. Yeah, that's Sheffield Wednesday for you. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, ladies and gents. Please leave a like before you go. That would mean the world to me. If you can give me one thing tonight, one like on this video just would mean everything. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you very, very soon.